What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Showtime is the Blazer King with King's Critiques, reviewing some more anime off top of my noodle. And today, kids, we present to you with the letter N. I probably did that a little bit messed up, but hey, you know, whatever. Anyway, we're going to start off with an alternate reality from the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Is that all the way down the T's? I don't think I reviewed that yet. Regardless, we have the disappearance of Nagato Yuki, which is set in an alternate universe from the original anime. And there's no Haruhi in this one, or at least she's not as relevant, even if she was in this, which I don't remember by the synopsis. But Yuki basically is a normal girl in this, aside from, you know, their typical wacky adventures that they end up going on. You know, you still have the rest of the cast all together and stuff, but it's basically Yuki being a normal girl instead of... Was she an alien? I think she was an alien. Something like that. And, yeah, it's made mostly them doing the same stuff they were in the first series, except for this time she wants to admit her feelings for Kyon, which was Haruhi's spot before, but, you know, alternate timelines and such. But again, it's one of those shows I remember a ton about, which I guess is a good thing why it was one of the first things to review in this episode, because I only can give my up or down rating, and I'm going to say if you like the first Haruhi Suzumiya show, minus the Endless 8, because god, that was insufferable. For that, you only really need to watch the first and last episodes, but I'll get back to that later. Anyway, like I said, if you enjoyed the first one, check it out. It's worth the watch. Obviously, I don't remember a ton about it other than what I read in the synopsis, which sucks, but it happens. But I'm just say, you know, the whole, like I just said, go watch it. It's good. But let's move into the other thing, which is, well, it's something that's obviously bigger right now, but has a lot of controversy due to the art style and stuff. 7 Deadly Sins. I feel like there's a couple of anime I skipped over for all these that I was watching. But I'll, like, get back to those in separate videos at some point later, I guess. But yeah, 7 Deadly Sins. You know, the story of Meliodas and friends. The first season was really good. It was about the sins, you know, regathering and getting back together and all that kind of stuff to fight a bigger evil than the capital is trying to make them out to be. And all along the way, they meet new friends and reconnect with old friends and, you know, lovers and blah 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 anime stuff. The last couple episodes of the first season had a big what the fuck moment or two, and yeah, pretty sure Pig dying, almost dying, made me cry, which I'm sure a lot of people did. There are also OVAs between the first season and the second, which I checked out and were, you know, funny, cute, a little bit sexy. Because, I mean, you get to see Merlin in the waitress outfit, even if just for a couple of minutes, and damn, Merlin is fine in this show. She's fine. Unfortunately, I have not watched the second nor the third season. Actually, I did watch the second season, so this is going to classify within that. The second season makes things get a hell of a lot better, because we get to visit the one sin that we didn't get in the first season. And he is one Bamf. Like, dude seems like a pissant, but man, he can rock your shit if he wants to, when the time's right. But sadly, I haven't seen the third season yet, or the movie, so I can't really make much of an assumption on, or review on that. When I do get to it, I will review it, as I've said with so many anime beforehand. But as for, you know, the first and second seasons and the OVAs in between the two. It's all totally worth watching. Sure, they kind of dropped the ball in the third season from what I hear, but hey, that doesn't make it a bad thing. I still hear some good things about the show. And download the game. I still haven't touched much of it, but one day soon. I really want to get Mobile Monday started on Twitch, but till I get a new phone, that's not really going to be easily done unless I just play, like, Dokkan Battle or something. But as far as Seven Deadly Sins as a whole goes, I'm going to go ahead and tell you to watch that because it was a good one. And yeah, because, you know, the characters are all exciting to watch their own character arcs develop, especially over the first couple seasons, let alone whatever happens in the third. Anyway, we're going to move on to another bigger show. You know, one of the most popular of the time, current time, Naruto. And I'm going to combine this with Shippuden since I saw most of Shippuden and the movies, which are half canon. I don't know. And start off, it's one of the mainstream anime, so of course you should watch it if you have the time to devote to it. Skip the filler because 90% of it is just stupid. A couple of them are decent, but most of it is stupid. And the only decent ones are in the regular Naruto. But, you know, you have your classic anime shtick. You know, a young kid is alone and abandoned, or slash, in this case, his parents are dead. And he needs to try and make some friends and become powerful like he has his goals set to. And, well, if anybody knows what Boruto is, and you know that all that goes over just well for him, but this is all the way back at the beginning of his journey when he was just a scared little kid trying to become a strong ninja. And I don't know, a lot of Naruto I do like. You know, the fight scenes are pretty good and the animation's not too bad even for when it started, and it just got better along the way, at least through Shippuden. I don't know, there's some choices character-wise that Mishimoto, whatever the hell his name is that wrote it, could have probably done a little better, but overall it's not, you know, obviously it's one of the better anime of all time, just period, end of story. Not much to say about that. I don't know why Shippuden nor the rest of the movies are not on my list, but I'll change that soon. Because that 258 that's in the thumbnail would probably be a lot bigger if I had all the anime I've actually seen on here, but for some reason they're not. But that's just what I'm going with. Anywho, the movies are also all pretty good. I don't know how many of them there are exactly, because I only have one on my list, but they're all pretty good. You know, you don't have to watch them, but they're worth watching if you don't have like an hour and a half or so to kill. Speaking of kill, we're coming up to our next entrant, Evangelion, which there's a lot of messed up stuff in the show. I haven't watched it in years, also excuse me if you heard that. But from what I remember of it, other than being a bit of a mindfuck, as it were, it's a pretty good show. Obviously has like 3 or 4 movies, you know, off it. A third one coming out soon at that, which means I gotta watch the first 2 movies because I actually have never seen them. Maybe I'll go through watching the first, or the actual series again. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But what I do know is that if you don't mind a bit of mental trauma, the show's pretty good. You know, you have your giant mechs, which I think actually, spoiler, turned out to be aliens at some point or another, to fight other aliens from invading the planet. You know, you have your 3 main characters to start, and they all have their own problems. You know, you have the hot big sister type who's taking care of our main guy character. And his douchebag father. And, yeah, a lot of cliche tropes in this one, but this also was a show that started in, like, what, 98? Maybe even later. I gotta double check that to make sure I'm speaking correctly. 95 even. So yeah, it's for the time. The animation was not too shabby. You know, a couple of cliche tropes that started from this show, for example. And overall, like I said, if you don't mind a bit of mental trauma, watch it. Check it out. Pretty good. Let's get to the next one, which is Netsuzou no Sumasei, also known as Recovery of an MMO Junkie. Which, that sounds pretty much exactly what it is. But instead of it being teenagers like most anime, it's actually like a 30-ish year old woman who can't get enough of playing MMOs, and along the way she meets up with somebody who she starts to like as a person. So then the complications of meeting someone on the internet run through her head, just like, oh god, what if it's a girl? What if they're way younger than I am? Yada 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 yada. When actually, again, spoiler, as I recall, it's a coworker of hers. Maybe not a coworker, but like someone who lives in her building or something, like one of those two things. I don't remember exactly on how that progresses. I think they do like meet up in the last episode, but it's one of the shorter ones that came out like 10 or so years ago, maybe even less than, maybe only 5 years ago. And it's one of those that I'd say is 100% worth it. Just in general, no specific, things you like have to be taken into account for this one. It's just a really good show, so it's a shorter one. Go check it out if you have the time. Now we're going to get into something that's less than lighthearted. Netsuzou TRap, also known as NTR, which to those into that kind of thing translates into Netorare usually, which this kind of is, because it focuses on two girls who have a certain kind of relationship with one another, but one of those girls, or both of these girls, also have boyfriends. And you can already see where that's going based on everything that I have said so far. So, I can't really go too far into that because a kid might have clicked on this, but if you are, of the age to where you read those kind of things, because this did start as a manga and apparently it got an animation kind of like Citrus, which I still haven't watched yet and still need to. But if you're the type of person that reads those kind of things, I'm gonna obviously say to watch it, because other than it being a bit of a heart jerker, I guess would be one way to put it, and the kind of thing where you usually wouldn't like that kind of thing, but it's like, it's two girls, so it's actually a bit hotter. Yes, I did just put it that way, but as you can tell from a lot of the anime I've reviewed to this point, that gay shit, I drink that. Speaking of drink, I think before I go over this next one, I'm gonna get a drink. Because it also involves a bit of the gayness, but in more of an undertone. At least for the most part. Alright. Next up we have New Game. New Game is 2 seasons long. Both are like 12 episodes or so. It originally focuses around a single girl who is fresh out of college and wanting to become a game developer. To which she gets hired at a new at a studio that actually makes a lot of the games she absolutely loves. How nice for her, right? So over time, she makes friends of her coworkers and still hangs out with her other friend from college who, in the second season, spoiler, also ends up working for the company. And the two of them have a great time at the business, although having some of the typical work hardships. This is another one of those shows where there's a little bit of fan service going on here and there, and also a little bit of undertoned gayness between several of the characters. You know, I have a couple of favorite characters in this one for reasons other than the gayness, though. They're just kind of really likable. But yeah, I feel like comedic anime that kind of touch on real world problems, this is one of those that'd be for you. I personally enjoyed both seasons. The second season was one of those I watched as it came out, which I really need to start doing with more anime. I only have the two I'm doing that with right now. Also, I should try and find one anime that's coming out every single day, so that way I'll have something out for you guys every single day. Like, at least after the rest of these are done. Maybe I'll try to research when stuff is coming out by the day. Anyway. Okay. But yeah, it's for a new game. Go ahead and watch it. It's, like I said, really good. I loved it. Next up, we're gonna get on to Noragami, which is also 2 seasons long and pretty good as I remember. I don't remember a ton about it. It's about a fallen god, or something like that. Fallen god of sorts, who befriends a teenage girl and, tries to get her to help him out so people recognize him and start to pray for him again so he can become stronger. And not until the latter half of the first season and a majority of the second season does this actually matter. But up until that point, it's more of a comedy, a little bit of sad moments here and there, but overall, I loved it. Yato is a really good character, and the rest of the crew that joins in along the way, and Rashomon is Bay, just saying, are also really likable characters. It's been a couple of years since I watched this one, so I can't really give a huge review on it, but I'm going to say to watch it, because 2 seasons long, one of the highest rated anime of all time, and yeah. Simple and easy, just like that. Which, speaking of simple and easy, the last review of this episode, since I'm not going to go over 20 minutes if I don't need to, is going to be Nyanko Days. I know, weird title for a show, right? And this was a weird one. It's kind of another one of those cute comedy shows that explore a couple of real world problems. But, how do I put this? The main characters are strange, because it's your average teenage girl who has all these problems and stuff, and then her 3 cats, who are, at least to our perspective, I don't remember on if to hers, those 3 cats are little girls who all have their very unique personalities. It's like, what, 10 episodes? Yeah, 12 episodes, so. But they're also all very short, as I remember, they only like 5 minutes long each, because they just kind of go through one-shot stories that are only like half canon to each other. And yeah, if you want one of those kind of cute, heartwarming shows to like watch if you're having a bad day or something, this is one of those I'd recommend. Unless you're the type who would rather feel better about their bad day by watching bloodshed. Then none of the anime in this category are for you, but hey, you know. That's just my review of this particular anime, and I enjoyed it. It was cute. It was funny at times. And that is also going to be it for the letter N, because there was enough anime to fill in at least 20 minutes in this. And I could go with O's, but who knows? I might just do O's and P's together, because there didn't look to be a lot of P's. Because I already wrote everything down. Anyway, as per usual, if you enjoyed what I saw, please do hit the like button. It would help out a lot. Ring the bell, like, Facebook, follow Twitter, Twitch, and subscribe to both channels. Comment down below on anything else you might want me to watch that I have not checked out yet, or have not reviewed in this thing so far. And until next time, it has been the Blazer King with King's Critique signing out. Ta-ta for now. Peace.